everyone, thanks for tuning in to Lightfoot Effects. First and foremost, I want to say we just got to 1,000 subscribers. Seriously, thank you everyone who's been following along and who has subscribed, and our future subscribers as well. This is a milestone that I didn't think I would hit so soon, in only about a year. Seriously, I just can't thank you all enough. It's crazy to me that there are 1,000 of you who care what I have to say or show. And I love doing it. It's super fun. I love guitars and gear and effects pedals, and it's just amazing that we hit 1,000, and it just continues to give me motivation to keep pushing and doing this. So to honor this day, I think it's time to do another pedalboard demo. So the last video I did, I'll link here, it was back in 2022, and my pedalboard has changed quite a bit. I'm just gonna show you how it's wired, and this is probably how I'll be running it. Or this is actually how I've been running it for most of 2023, at least for the second half. I think it'll be fun to just go through the pedals again and see what's changed. That seemed to be a video a lot of you guys liked, so we'll do it again for 2023, but maybe this might count as 2024 because we're in November now and it's almost 2024. So we'll see how soon it is till I switch everything out again. So this is the guitar I'll be playing today. This is a Elliott 357. This is, gosh darn, the best guitar I've ever played in my life, even compared to the custom shop telly that I have over there. I'm not trying to like hype these up, but these are, at least this one is just insanely built, and anyone that has played it has agreed. Anyone that's played mine anyways. The sustain when it's unplugged is just unreal. It just goes forever. It's still going. It's still going, I'm not gonna lie. You may not hear it, I'm still feeling it vibrate. Nope, it's not done yet. I kid you not, it just now stopped sustaining. That's how long. It's just crazy. This is a phenomenal guitar. Good job, Andy Elliott. I want to do a review of this guitar at some point, but I just haven't had the time yet. But we'll get to hear it today. It has 2 gold foil pickups. Usually gold foils, I think, are more of a humbucker. They look a lot bigger. He does something funky with these where he gets them to be more like a single coil. They sound amazing. It's just a great guitar, and I'm excited to play it for this demo. So here is my board. You'll see there have been quite a bit of changes since the last video. I switched out the Ruby and the Dream, which I was running originally, the Universal Audio ones, and I replaced them with the Tonex. Why am I running 2 Tonexes? That is because I want to have 2 amps. You can only run 1 amp per Tonex. I play in stereo mostly where I go, so I have to buy 2 of these. It would be like buying 2 Kempers or running a Ruby and a Dream. It's just 1 amp on each. Now the Tonex captures amps, so I bought someone else's amp capture and it gets loaded on here, and then I should sound like I'm playing through that person's amp. So the amps that I have on here right now are from Bethel. Not really Bethel, they're from a company called Tone Factor, which is started by 2 of the guys from Bethel, David Hislop and Kenyon Reed. These are the amps that they profiled. I believe it's the ones they tour with, or if not, it's the same model of the ones they tour with. So what we have here is an AC30 with, it's a Korg era with greenbacks. The Korg eras were considered like the highly coveted AC30 era, where they sounded just really creamy and smooth and not super bright. Just super mid-rangey and pushed. And then we have over here the Fender Pro Sonic, which is another one that they tour with. It is a really rare, not like rare, but they didn't make a lot of them is my understanding. It's a Fender amp that wasn't super popular because from what I have learned, it's more mid-focused and not super, it has the Fender cleans, but not like the cleans of a 65 or a 68. Those were just more popular. And then, you know, like the Princetons and stuff. The Pro Sonic, from what I understand, never totally took off, but it's a great sounding amp. It just works for this genre of music. The music that I play is worship music primarily, so I've had people ask, what is a worship pedal board? That is what this board is. It is a board designed to be more about, it's a lot of high delay and a lot of high reverb, and a lot of saturated amps, well, clean amps on the edge of breakup, but then you will usually saturate them with lots of drive and a lot of reverb and a lot of delay. So Yes, this is a praise and worship pedal board. You can also compare it with like the closest thing in the secular world. This pedal board would do well if I was doing like Coldplay or maybe some U2. Similar style, similar sounds. So for those of you who are just here to listen to magical tones and journey, we will begin. First, I replaced my tone press, which was my original compressor, with the Cali 76 over here. This is a 1176 in a pedal. It's a super popular compressor used on a lot of albums that you hear just all over the world. This Origin Effects did their best to try and get that sound into a pedal format. Of course, it's not the same thing, but it just sounds really good. So I will demo the guitar with the clean tone, and these are the AC30 and the ProSonic on the edge of breakup. Here it is without the compressor on. And then with it on, you'll have noticed there's a little bit more gain. I tend to have my compressor boosted a little more, not a lot, just to help push the amps a little more. I just like I like the creaminess and the punchiness that it gives them. Otherwise they get a little too stiff. This adds kind of a mushiness, I guess. I run it super low. It's a very low ratio. That's what that knob is right here. It's set super low. Because I don't like a ton of compression. I just only like a tiny bit of it. Because I leave it on all the time. So after my compressor, I am going into so I will show you, there is a picture underneath the board. I'm showing it to you right now. After my compressor, I'm going into the POG that you see right there. So the reason I have the POG under the board is it's MIDI modded, so I can actually control it from my Mastermind PBC6X. So here I have this button to switch between what I want it to do. If I click it once, it will go to extra options. This one button turns my POG on and off. Right now I only have one preset. I just haven't had time to make more because I'm always using the one preset. So here is like my clean tone with the POG. So now if I want to use the POG, I would use that for things like here. I'm gonna turn on my reverb. Here's the POG, and then maybe I'll do like some dry or some drive. Forgot to turn on the delay. So here's some overdrive. And then POG off. That's it. It just gives me a little more for my lead lines. The POG then goes to my MIDI controller. This is also, it's a looper as well. So from there, the signal is going between my overdrives. So what we have, and then there's an out going into my tuner. That's the Sonic Research Turbo Tuner. It's just an awesome strobe tuner. It's super accurate. And it's super small, and it's very instant. If you want a tuner that's instantly responsive, where there's not like a little bit of a delay, this is the tuner. So yeah, once the POG goes to the looper pedal, I then am running my drives. I have my drives in order. My last pedal board, you would have noticed my first drive was my Benson preamp. I still have that pedal. I just got a little bored of it, and I was on the wait list for the King of Tone. I didn't buy it, guys. I bought it, but I didn't buy it used. I waited. I actually signed up to get this pedal about 5 years ago. I kid you not, it showed up like probably 6 months ago. And so I swapped it on. I'm like, hey, I bought this 5 years ago. I might as well use it. It sounds great. The Benson preamp still sounds great too. I'm just using this for now because it's new to me. And so I have the yellow side set to the boost, I think, or no, the clean overdrive. And then I have the red side set to the normal overdrive. So there's like a clean kind of boost effect. And then the red is the overdrive. And then it also has a distortion. I'm not using the distortion. So here is the yellow side. I have it set to be my first stage, so it's pushing the amp a little more. Here's with it off. And here's with it on. And then the red side is my second stage. Feels so good. Okay, so one thing I also forgot to mention is I got the mod since I got to order it. I got to pick all the extra features. One is you can have it split into 2 inputs, so I can run each side independently with my looper. So I can have this be the left and this be the right. So I'm not actually stacking it. I'm running each side separately as its own pedal. The cool thing about that mod is not a lot of people know is if I unplug these 2 middle cables right here, this one and this one, it still works as the normal pedal. It bypasses it, so these 2 outer ones work just like the one with the 2 jacks. So I can still run it stacked and not have to go in and out all 4 jacks. Super cool, just a little tidbit of information. So from there, I am running the Kilt. That one made it. It's just such a great pedal. So this is my 3rd stage. And then on top of that, I have the red remote. If I click this button, it switches it to the red side, which gives it more gain. So here it is with even more gain. So good. After those pedals, I have my boost. I had the Vertex Effects boost originally, and I saw that Benson came out with a germanium boost, and I thought, I love Benson and their products, so I wanted to try it out. It sounds killer. The Vertex boost still sounds great as well. I just love the aesthetic of the Benson boost, and I still love the sound. It's not as clean as the old boost. I just use it now to, it's at the end of my overdrive, so when I have my overdrive on, it pushes into the boost, and then the boost amplifies the drive, and it pushes my amp modelers harder, so I get more gain. I mainly use it for lead lines. It does give me a little more volume, but mainly more gain. So here's an example of that. Let's say I am, well, here it is by itself. Here's the clean tone again. Here it is with the boost. Makes a big difference, doesn't it? So if I turned on like my heavy lead line, and I'm doing like a solo-y part, to hear how that makes a difference, it saturates it more. I'm getting that saturated sound with the reverbs and the delays, and it's just beautiful. Some of you, it might sound terrible too, but that's just the way to, it's just where the praise and worship genre is going. A lot of that lead line stuff that's just blowing up in your face, and it really pokes you out, and it makes you sound big. You're playing in a band and it makes you sound really big. So after the boosts, is my volume pedal. I run my volume pedals after my drives pedals because I want the full amount of drive to go into the amp, and I use the volume really for swells, and I think it gives you more powerful swell because the drive's still going at full blast, so it would be something like this. I might do like some cool hammer offs, not hammer ons, but hammer offs. So like with that. Super cool effect. It just sounds amazing. After those drives, I am going into the Zoia. This is super over... I can't explain this pedal enough. This pedal is so much more than someone needs. This is my modulation pedal. Before I had the Walrus Audio M1, and I just got uninspired by it. I don't know why. Some pedals I just don't feel inspired when I play them, and I just kind of felt stagnant. The Zoia is a it's kind of like an HX Stomp, but not as in like it can do everything. There are overdrives in there, there are reverbs, there's delays, there's even amp cabs. It doesn't do amp modeling, but they have amp cabs in there. There is boost pedals, like I said, it has all the effects that a guitar player needs in it, but you have to bring them out of it. There are some pre-set up ones, but you actually have to build your effects from scratch on here. Like literally you program them as if you were building a pedal from scratch. Like there is like a tremolo pedal, but you can build your own tremolo. You can say like, oh, I want the volume to go up and down and I want it to do this and this, and there's too much to go into. It has its own like series of videos that take hours to get through. I'm just that kind of guy. I love that kind of crap. It just works for me. So I have it set to MIDI. If I go to my page here, I can turn on I have a few things. I have it set to a chorus. So this is the chorus effect. And then I can do, this one's called vibrato. It sounds way better with reverb and delay, so there might be parts where I want to use that. And like I could do something like this. So the reverb and the delay add so much more to that effect. Just dry, it would be this. You have to have I have to set it pretty aggressively, like a really, really pronounced wee 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 wee. So then the reverb and the delay just like drown it out, so you don't hear that as much. Because they're so powerful, that's why I have to make it go so much. Because then when those are on, they're taming it a lot. So from there, I have the Zoia still. This switches it to the tremolo, and the tremolos can be cool. You know, and this is all set stereo. It's not super aggressive. It's just a good effect, especially when you're hearing it in stereo. With delay and reverb, it adds a bit more. That's all the Zoia is doing right now. I literally am using it for 3 things. I always tell myself I'm gonna do more, and I just don't take the time to do it because I'm only using those 3 things. So this can be overkill for a lot of you who just want simple modulation. The Walrus M1 was fine. You can even get like the new GFI one that they came out with. Gosh, I can't think of the name right now, but GFI has one too that I've always kind of been interested in. But yeah, this works for now and it's super cool. Gives me a cool light show on the stage. All right, from there I have the El Capistan. Before that, I had the Boss DD200. I still have it just to prove that, you know, I do keep a lot of my pedals. This pedal was amazing. It still is, and I'm probably going to go back to it someday because it can do all the delays. But this past year, every song I play just uses tape delay of some sort or an analog delay, and this can cover all that ground I need, and it sounds so good. I think the tape delay on the El Cap is one of the best in the world, and I'm not a Strymon fanboy. I've always been, you know, open to everything. I just think it has one of the best tape delays. The DD200 had a good one too. I think I prefer the El Cap. This is the version 2, and the reason I got it now is because the version 2 has MIDI, so I can control it per song. So I literally use it just to set the BPM of every song we play. So like one was Glorious Day, and then the BPM is already set on the El Cap. It loads it up, and it's already ready to go, and it saves my preset. And it can hold up to like 300 songs, essentially. It's 300 presets. So I just flip through songs here, and then it just changes automatically. So, and I have it set up just for, you know, like this is called Glorious Day. You know, it has that good tape delay sound. It's got a great stereo spread. It's all done automatically. There's not much more I can say about it. It does quarter notes, dotted eighth, and eighth. There is a way to do eighth notes on here. It's just setting your quarter note to twice the speed, and then you got your eighth notes. At least I think that's what it is. I might have that formula wrong. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me on that. There's a way to do it. I always have to like wrap my brain around it when I'm on the computer. I think if you double the tempo, your quarter notes, yeah, will become your eighth notes. Guys, I was really terrible at music theory. I'm just really good with effects and noodling. And then my favorite part of this board is the Cloudburst. Hello. It is literally the only reverb I liked on the Big Sky, and now they have it in a small form factor, and it's MIDI. Count me in. It's the same principle I had on my old board. I used to have the Jet Revelation V2, which was just a all-in-one little reverb. This does the same thing, except now I get the cloud effect, which just does sound pretty dang good. It does a lot more than that too. So I have it set to just multiple settings. This is my short. You know, it's just short reverb. Here is a medium reverb. And then here's my long reverb. And then I got super long reverb. And now if you look under my pedal board again, all of that MIDI stuff is being controlled by that disaster area Midibox device there. Yeah, that takes the one MIDI of this and it converts it into 4, And all the pedals I have now are TRS MIDI. So they're just using MIDI through a TRS cable. So I don't actually need MIDI cables. Okay, so after the Cloudburst, it is then going into the Tonex pedals. So I am going out from the right side of the Cloudburst into one Tonex, and then the left side of the Cloudburst is going into the other Tonex. So that's just treating each Tonex as its own amp. So I'm using captures from the company Tone Factor, like I said earlier in the video. One side is the AC30, the other side is the Fender Pro Sonic. I'm running them in true stereo. So with the Tonex settings, I have tweaked them a little bit. I'm just running them to where I like them set. I tweaked the captures a little bit, just EQ wise, to be more to more match this guitar. And then from there, I have one out on each Tonex going into the Goodwood Audio long line. So I'm doing one output from the Tonex into the left of the long line, and then one output from the other Tonex going into the right of the long line. There are a few things under there. There's also a phase button that will swap the phase of one of these amps, which I have to do. Whenever you pair an AC30 with a Fender of some sort, usually they're out of phase, even with modeling. So I have to usually get some sort of pedal to swap the phase. If you're playing somewhere and they have the sound, if it's going to a soundboard, the sound guy can also swap your phase. It's when you send two stereo signals, they need to make one flip so that they aren't crossing each other out. So yeah, that's the long line. I had the Walrus Audio Canvas before. The reason I don't anymore is just the long line's thinner, so it mounts under a pedal board easier. And this is my new creation pedal board. I believe this is the 24 by 16, or maybe it was 14. Can't remember. This is the bigger one of the 24-inch model. It gives me an extra row at the bottom here. Otherwise, I think it would stop kind of at this top, at these two middle rows. And then I have my XLRs mounted to the side here. And then the two other outputs are, if I want to run amps, I can simply turn off the Tonex pedals, and then I can run straight into the amp. It'll still go through the Tonex, but the Tonex won't do anything. It'll just be on passive mode. So that really is the pedal board now. I can show you just kind of how I would use it, but here is here's how I would run through on this pedal board. So that is a side effect of the I almost said Filtertrons. That is a side effect of the gold foils. These are very, very microphonic. So it is kind of feeding back. I love it. It's pretty easy to tame. It just depends where you're standing and stuff, but it gives it that extra feedback that I just got there. Super cool guitar. But anyway, we're not talking about the guitar. Then, I might do some delay-ish, reverby things. didn't tell you guys how I structure my pedal board here. I need to add that in real quick. These are my drives, and then I have my reverb set to run independently. So whatever drive I switch, I can switch the reverb separately. This lets me play on the fly, so I don't have to do presets per song. Like I don't have it set to be like, oh, I'm in the chorus, I need to hit the chorus button, I need to hit the bridge button, because a song can change at any moment or be spontaneous. So rather than setting this up locked down per parts of a song, I just have it set to one setting for all the songs. And then what I do is I go here, and this changes my songs, but the layout stays the same and my effects are still on. See, I'm changing the song name. You can't see it probably, but if I click this, the song changes. This goes up one song. This takes me back to my main page. My effects are still on. So I can go through each song without losing anything. None of my trails, my effects stay on. The only thing that changes is the BPMs on my delay. That's the only thing I'm changing. So if I go to a new song, my delay BPM changes to match that song, because usually we'll play to a click track, so we have to match it perfectly. It keeps the band in sync. So that's what this is doing. It's just doing those two things. These are my modulation. This is my pog. This is my tap tempo. So I can change the tempo. If I tap it really fast, you'll see it change there on the L cap. And then if I go slow, it'll send that new slow command to the L cap. And that's the beauty of the L cap having MIDI. I think the original L cap can do that without MIDI, just using like a tap tempo device, but this is the MIDI doing all that. So I can just change my BPMs on the fly if we're playing a song that's not in my system. I can just tap into it really quick. And then I can improvise on the spot without having presets. So that's an example of how I can use the boost. The boost can, increase my clean tone. So like I can be doing a part and I'll hit the boost here. And then I might jam that with the, I might mix them together. I might turn the boost on. Here, I'll leave it off for a minute, but I'll add it on. We'll do the kilt, and then we'll do like the red. We'll switch it to the red side. This will be like a saturated lead line where if I need to stick out and I'm doing a big part, I might do it like, something like this. That boost pedal brings a lot out of it. Like, normally this is how it would sound without the boost. And then if I throw the boost on, that's it, everybody. That is my new board. This video has gone on for much too long, but it was so fun. I want to do more videos like this, except I want to bring in people I know. So, well, maybe once in a while more, we'll have videos where I have people I know show off their boards and their gear, and I'll just sit and kind of ask questions about it. Thanks for getting me to 1,000 subscribers, everyone. We're there. Let's just keep going, and I'm excited to see what else we bring out. And I'll have some more videos with this guitar. We can go into it with more detail. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time.